South Africa has seen its fair share of daring criminals, but few have captured the headlines quite like Bongani Moyo, a Zimbabwean national who turned into one of the country's most infamous bank robbers. Moyo wasn't just known for his robberies, he was also a master escape artist. He slipped through the cracks of South Africa's justice system again and again, leaving authorities embarrassed and the public shocked. In today's video, we're diving deep into the unbelievable story of Bongani Moyo, the man who robbed banks, escaped prison multiple times, and left a trail of chaos behind him. Bongani Moyo was born in Zimbabwe, but not much is known about his early life. What is clear is that he crossed into South Africa hoping for a better future. Like many immigrants, he struggled to find stable work. Later in court, Moyo would say that poverty and desperation pushed him into crime. He even revealed that he had a disabled son back in Zimbabwe and that supporting his family became his main motivation. But what started as survival soon spiraled into a career of high-risk, violent crime. The turning point came in March 2011. Moyo was being held in Boksburg prison, awaiting trial for robbery and firearm charges. Somehow, in a daring move, he managed to escape custody. This first escape marked the beginning of a dangerous chapter. Instead of lying low, Moyo teamed up with an associate, Khumbulani Sibanda, and the two began plotting robberies. Rather than running to safety, they decided to gamble with their freedom, launching a crime spree that would shock Gauteng and the Northwest Province. Between April and May of 2011, Moyo and Sibanda carried out 6 armed bank robberies. They targeted banks in Pretoria, Rustenburg, Boksburg, Rudaport, and other locations. Armed with semi-automatic weapons, they stormed into banks and spread fear among staff and customers. Moyo was often the one who jumped over the counters, shouted orders, and even slapped security guards to establish control. The duo made off with around 260 to 268,000 rand in total. While no lives were lost, the psychological damage to employees and customers was severe. Imagine being at work one moment and the next, staring down the barrel of a gun. For Moyo and his partner, this was quick money. But for law enforcement, it was a humiliation. A wanted criminal had not only escaped custody, but was running wild and robbing banks across provinces. What made Bongani Moyo even more infamous was not just his robberies, but his ability to repeatedly escape from custody. His first escape was from Boksburg prison in March 2011. Just months later, in August 2011, he escaped again, this time from the Pretoria Magistrates Court. He was even on crutches at the time, yet he still managed to slip away from his guards. The audacity shocked the country. His third escape came in 2012 from Pretoria Central Prison. Investigators later found contraband in his cell, including homemade weapons, ammunition, makeshift tools, and even key molds. This suggested that he had inside help, possibly from corrupt prison officials. By this point, Moyo was no longer just a bank robber. He had become a symbol of weakness in South Africa's correctional services. Each successful escape raised bigger questions about how one man could outsmart the system again and again. His repeated breakouts embarrassed the police, the courts, and the prison system. Eventually, however, Moyo's luck ran out. Authorities captured him again and brought him to trial in 2013. In court, he admitted to planning the robberies, claiming that it was out of necessity. His lawyer argued that Moyo couldn't find legal work, that he had to support his disabled son, and that he simply wanted to survive. But the judge wasn't convinced. The court acknowledged that he had shown some remorse, but stressed that his crimes were violent, premeditated, and had traumatized many innocent people. In March 2013, Bongani Moyo was sentenced to an effective 62 years in prison. His partner in crime, Khumbulani Sibanda, received 55 years. Both men's sentences were meant to send a clear message. Crime may pay in the short term, but the consequences are devastating in the long run. 4 years later, in 2017, the Supreme Court of Appeal reviewed their case. While the court upheld their convictions, it decided to reduce their sentences. Moyo's punishment was cut from 62 years to an effective 35 years, and Sabanda's sentence was also reduced. Still, for both men, this meant decades behind bars with little hope of ever walking free. So what do we make of Bongani Moyo's story? On one hand, he was a desperate man, an immigrant who claimed he turned to crime because of poverty. On the other, he was a dangerous criminal who chose violence, traumatized innocent people, and repeatedly humiliated the justice system with his daring escapes. His story is a reminder of the struggles many immigrants face in South Africa, but also of the devastating impact crime has on ordinary citizens. Bongani Moyo may have justified his actions as necessity, but to his victims he was nothing more than a ruthless bank robber. Today, Bongani Moyo sits behind bars, serving his time for a spree of crimes that once gripped the nation. From daring escapes to violent robberies, his story is both fascinating and cautionary. Was he a man driven by desperation, or just a criminal who made his own choices? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of South Africa's most notorious criminals, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from the underworld of Africa.